This episode of the Parity podcast was sponsored by dailypuzzles.com.au. If you need high-quality speed cubes at good, affordable prices, go check them out and use our code PARITY for 10% off.
Hey everyone, and welcome back to the Parity Podcast. In this episode, we have a lot of, not many new cubes to talk about, but still a few, including GAN's new flagship cube of 2020, which is going to be absolutely insane. Then we have a talk about how to stay motivated during cubing, as a lot of people have joined cubing, but also some people decide to drop off, so that'll be interesting to talk about. And then after that, we'll have an interview with one of the biggest cubing YouTubers out there, Tingman.
Yo, it's Cupid here. Hi, my name is Jack Kai.
Hi, my name's Kieran Behan.
Hi, I'm Kevin Lee from Cubing Coded, and you're listening to the Parity Podcast.
Parity Podcast.
Parity Podcast.
The Parity Podcast.
You're listening to the Parity Podcast, brought to you by your hosts, Mitch Creighton and Jan McGinley.
Hey everyone, it's good to see you guys. It's been a while.
It's actually been a month, like always, but anyway. Welcome back to the show. We hope you guys have had a good month, and we are so glad to have you listening to us again. So we got a lot of stuff, as we just said before, to talk about. Obviously, new cubes of the month, including GAN's new flagship cube of 2020. Then we'll talk about how to stay motivated during the pandemic, and how to keep cubing and keep it fun and consistent. And then after that, of course, have an interview with one of the biggest cubing YouTubers, Tingman. I guess let's just start off with the new cubes. So Jan, want to run us off with the GAN 11 Pro M?
Sure, I will definitely do that. So as you guys know, the GAN 11 Pro M has come out, obviously sticking to more like an iPhone naming system. I think they're a little bit behind since the iPhone 12 came out, but obviously I'm expecting the GAN 12 Pro. We'll have to see what happens next, but obviously GAN's sticking to more an Apple theme, it's working on their favor, I reckon, because to the name of GAN is quite a premium, high-quality brand, and it's really helping their naming system. Let's talk about the actual differences compared to the XS. Now, the GAN 11 actually has a new system where it actually has corner piece magnets as well as the edge magnets. What are your thoughts on that, Mitch?
I think that's quite an interesting design. Obviously, back to where you were talking about the GAN and Apple stuff, we've definitely seen in the last year a rise in how much people respect GAN cubes, and definitely people compare them a lot to Apple. So I think this has really helped their case, and honestly a good marketing tactic for them. In terms of the magnets, obviously the adjustable magnets in the corner rather than the edges now. This is quite interesting. I don't think that'll make a huge impact as it was before, but that's quite an interesting touch to it, I think. I think it's a bit easier to access than the edges to change the magnets as well. So I don't know. I'll see what it's like.
Here's my thoughts, actually. I think I saw Tingman's video, guys. If you want to see more about this cube, just definitely check out Tingman's video. It's very good. Now, I think he said it made a very minor difference, but I think it still does help, and it is advancing in technology. Obviously, GAN is the first to do this again. I can probably bet that there will be other companies doing the same later this year, don't you think?
Yes, either that or maybe next year sometime.
Yeah, obviously GAN is the leader in innovation. So obviously, as we took a look at the core on Tingman's video, which you should definitely check out again, you can see that this is a core that we've never seen ever before. And I'm just looking forward to new companies bring this out. Obviously, it's way more advanced than we've seen in the past. But obviously, as we know, minor improvements are happening, and cube technology will begin to slow down as we've progressed so far in the last 20 years, I think.
Yeah, exactly. I'm just really excited. I've pre-ordered the UV coded one, I think it was. Yeah, UV coded. I'm super excited to get this. I'm sure it will be an amazing cube, and I can't wait to check it out and do a review on it and stuff.
It's going to be very exciting.
Okay, next cube. This is a cube we've seen in the past week or so, and that's the YJ Mini 3x3, 4x4, and 5x5. These cubes look super, super cool. I don't know the size off the top of my head, so here we go. So the 3x3 is 50 millimeters, 4x4 is 56 millimeters, and the 5x5 is 58 millimeters. These cubes look very interesting. I kind of like the look of them.
Yeah, they look really interesting. Obviously, YJ, they've been quite a good company for a while now, and I'm just looking forward to seeing what they can do. YJ, I would say it's probably my favorite brand of all time. They just make really good budget puzzles, and they're obviously progressing into the more premium line. So this is going to be really exciting to see how it fits in their lineup.
Oh yeah, exactly. YJ haven't always been the most highly regarded cube company, but I reckon I could fairly say now that they would be my favorite cube company. I love the NGC line, and just the stuff that I've been doing recently is super cool. And these cubes look really good. They're currently 3x3s $13.50, 4x4s $19, and 5x5s $22.50 Australian on daily puzzles. But you can buy the bundle of them for just under $50 as well, which is super cool. And I do highly recommend these cubes. I haven't tried them myself. I'll probably end up getting one. But I do really like the look of these, and they do look really cool.
Very exciting.
For sure. We've also got the Qi Yuan W and S2 4x4. I honestly haven't seen much about these 4x4s. They're just new Qi budget 4x4s. I think they're both 62 millimeters. Qi haven't always been the greatest budget 4x4 line. They have made decent 4x4s. I'm not quite sure what these ones are like. I'm sure they'll be pretty good.
Yeah, it's really exciting.
Yeah. Just it's good to have another extra budget or two budget 4x4s in the market to just create a bit of competition and bring some prices down to some really good cubes.
Yeah, I'm so excited, honestly.
We've also seen the release or the full release of the Rubik's Connect, Rubik's Smart Cube. This cube is really cool. Obviously, we've seen a lot about it recently. A lot of people are using it for the Red Bull World Cup. I quite like the look of this cube. I don't know what you think, Jan.
Yeah, obviously the Red Bull World Cup is quite a big event in cubing history. Obviously, it's good to see some major brand like Red Bull sponsor and run the show, basically. Now, I'm not sure about this puzzle, but I think it's going to be pretty good for the cup, and I'm just looking forward to it.
Yeah, for sure. And I mean, it's a good cube. We've seen many people get pretty good times, including some incredible stuff by Max, of course. So I think it's going to be a really cool puzzle. We've also got the RS2M 2x2. This is a follow-on from the RS3M 2020 and the RS4M. The RS4M hasn't had as much of an impact as I'm sure Moyu would have wanted. Of course, 4x4s aren't really as widely popular as 3x3s. That's a really good 4x4. This 2x2, though, 2x2 is quite a popular event, so I'm sure a lot of people will enjoy this puzzle. I personally haven't even really looked at much stuff about it. I haven't paid much attention to it. But it does look like a really good 2x2, quite good for its price and value, and I'm sure it will do very well.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it as well.
And then the last one is the GAN speedcube 2x2. This is obviously the 2x2 version of the GAN speedcube 3x3, which used to be the Rubik's Speed, but then GAN took it over. This also looks like a pretty good 2x2. Nothing much to say about it, really. We haven't seen too much about it, unfortunately. But I'm sure won't be a first choice option for lots of people. But I'm sure that a lot of people will quite like this cube and that it will gradually sell quite a few cubes.
Yeah, I'm actually looking forward to that as well. But we'll see how it goes.
Yeah, I mean, obviously the GAN cube 3x3 was a really cool cube. So we'll just have to see how this one turns out. All right, we're just going to take a quick break and then we'll be back on the other side with how to stay motivated cubing during this period of time.
This episode of the Parity Podcast was brought to you by the following sponsors: Harry Daniels, Cubing Madness YouTube, and Blake Coburn. If you would like to purchase our Patreon, go ahead and go into our Patreon and you can get yourself a shout out or a brand endorsement shout out. Just order the Patreon and we'll see you next episode.
Absolutely. It's a great way to shout out yourself, maybe a YouTube channel or something. Of course, go subscribe to Cubing Madness because he deserves it. Such a legend for being a sponsor of the show. Let's get back to it anyway. Okay, how to stay motivated cubing during the pandemic. That is a very tough thing. A lot of people have picked up cubing, but a lot of people have also maybe dropped it off or not done it as much. We've seen, of course, the loss of the great Jack High during the pandemic. and a lot of people have begun to not cube as much. They aren't finding it as fun. So how can you stay motivated during cubing? How can you keep it fun? I guess it would just be not trying to force yourself. If you're trying to force yourself to cube constantly, all day, every day, then that's a no-brainer. You're going to not as enjoy it as much.
Yeah, obviously, I'm gonna have to be honest. I think we've both find it hard to stay motivated during the pandemic and motivated in general. Would you agree with that, Mitch?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I definitely think that the lack of comps and something to work towards has definitely played a large factor of it. I think that's played a large factor of everybody's cubing. And that's just something that comes with the pandemic.
Yeah.
Uh,
And here's what I would say: probably not to push yourself. If you're not enjoying it, then you shouldn't do it. You should just wait till you actually feel like you want to cube, and when you want to cube, you just cube. I mean, it shouldn't be a forceful thing unless you're obviously a professional speed cuber. But cubing is meant to be fun, I think. And I think if you're enjoying yourself, then you should just keep at it.
Exactly. Another thing to keep it fun for yourself is to try new and different events. Maybe you're not so good at clock or 7x7 or something like that. Then practice that more. Try to get better at that. That's always a lot of fun. And when I'm getting sick of a particular event, I always find practicing another event gets a lot of fun. Another thing is to just buy new cubes and play with those. Now, obviously, not everyone can just straight up buy new cubes. I'm quite privileged to be in the position that I am in where I have quite easy access to cubes and I can get cubes a lot if I want. Not always for free, of course, but like buy them and stuff. And that's always a lot of fun, is to get a new cube and to play with it and see what it's like. That always keeps cubing a lot of fun. Not only playing with a new cube, but also the excitement of waiting for the cube and expecting the package and stuff.
Yeah. I mean, obviously we've had good cubes come out in the COVID pandemic, and I think it's a tough time for cubers right now. I would say so. Would you think that?
Oh yeah, exactly. When your whole sport is, or not sport, your whole activity is based around social gatherings and you're not allowed to social gather, that is going to play a bit of an impact on the community.
Yeah, definitely. And that's what makes cubing fun, like the social side and going to comps, don't you think? That's just what cubing's about.
Exactly. So when there's a lack of that, it can seem not as great. But of course, you could always find a cubing friend somewhere. It doesn't necessarily have to be like your best friend or the kid down the road or anything. It could be someone in another state or another country or something like that who you just Zoom call every now and again and you cube together. I don't know. It could be something like that. Obviously, I'm really privileged that my best friend, of course, Jan, is a cuber, so we can meet up each other a lot and just cube together. But obviously, not many people are in that same situation. So finding a cubing friend is always really fun, and having connections with people around different places and being able to tell your stories and stuff like that is also really cool.
Yeah, definitely. We're so lucky, and I think it's a bit unfortunate for some people. I mean, I've been getting lots of DMs and stuff about people saying that they're kind of like, that they kind of don't have someone to talk to as well. Like, we're quite lucky, and I think everyone just needs to persist and we'll get there.
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, I'm sure there's always people out there willing to have an extra friend who they can talk about cubing to. That's always a lot of fun.
All right,
Okay.
So we're going to take a break and then we'll be back with special guest Tingman himself.
Yay. This episode of the Parity Podcast is sponsored by dailypuzzles.com.au. For great quality speakers at super low prices, make sure you guys go check out dailypuzzles.com.au and use discount code Parity for a super awesome 10% off your entire order. That's right, most cube shops will only give you a petty 5%. Nah, Daily Puzzles will give you 10%. And use code Parity, of course, for said 10% off. Okay, guys, so as we said before, we're back now, and here we have Tingman. Welcome to the show.
Hey, Jan. Hey, Mitch. Thank you so much for having me. It's a pleasure to be here. And can I quickly say that I have listened to every single one of your podcasts, and I love it. It is so good.
Thank you so much. We really appreciate that.
That means a lot. Thank you so much, Tingman.
It's hands down the best cubing podcast I've heard. It's also the only one that I've heard, but it's still the best.
That's still an achievement.
Yeah, that's right.
Most of the cubing podcasts actually sort of quit or stopped at the moment. Obviously, we have the Corner Cutter podcast. They haven't like uploaded in like 6 months. So I think we're the only one that's actually going through the pandemic.
Yeah, good on you guys.
Thank you.
All right. Do you want to get into the questions then, Mitch?
Sure. I think you've got the first one.
Yep. All right. Let's start off. Tingman, how long have you been doing YouTube for, and why did you start a channel?
Whew. Wow. I think it's my 13th year on YouTube. I think.
Wow.
Yeah, it's been ages. I was probably like the second or third year that YouTube even existed. I went on.
That's ridiculous.
Since I was like a high schooler, I've always been interested in making videos. And I had friends who'd make videos with me, and they were really just like experimental stuff in the early days. I like to think I'm not that ancient, but this was back in the days where we were using like mini DV cameras. They were like sort of just digital, but there was still like film, like small little tapes involved.
Really?
So that was when I first sort of got started. And then I remember like first getting my my very first small little digital point and shoot camera, and I could make videos with that. And then I started doing really simple editing on the computer. YouTube came around and I was like, hey, this is cool. I can put stuff up here. And so, yeah, in the early days, it was just a place for me to upload videos that I've made. And they were like card tricks or like random like edits. I used to be pretty obsessed with like lightsabers, and I'd do all these like lightsaber edits and battles with my friends. I did a whole bunch of like videos for church as well, with like people just doing like sort of fun like youth related stuff. So yeah, YouTube has just always been an outlet for like my video creative expression, I guess.
Wow, that's
really
amazing.
cool.
So what was the process like actually uploading a video back in like when you first started? How did you get the image, the video digital and then uploading it straight to YouTube? Like what was the process?
To be honest, I can't even totally remember. I think the ones that are on film are still on film. Like they haven't been converted yet. But definitely like when there was like memory cards involved, then it became like way easier to like just be able to like transfer that straight to a computer. I just remember in the early days, it just took like ages to upload a video because of like internet speed. So it would literally just be like uploaded at night and then come back tomorrow morning and hope that it's finished, in like 8 hours.
Wow.
Yeah.
Probably still takes that long now because you have to produce such amazing videos now with like 4K video, and you've got the whole storyline and the plot and everything like that.
Yeah.
All right,
that's
Mitch,
crazy.
do you want to get into the next question?
Yeah. So how did you decide to start cubing on YouTube?
Yeah. So 2 years ago now, I think, or a bit over 2 years. So I have a video where I talk about like my first year of speed cubing, and I basically just sort of like fell into it because I was able to solve a cube when I was like quite a bit younger, but just not like quickly. And then when I like eventually bought a speed cube like a few years ago, really enjoyed that. Found what was it, Brisbane Winter 2017 or 2018, and just decided for fun just to like vlog the event. Like I just do that every now and then for fun. I just make vlogs which don't often like actually go anywhere. They're sort of just like for me and my family. Put it on YouTube, and people seem to enjoy it. And so I vlogged my next event as well that I went to. People enjoyed that, and I was like, yeah, maybe I can just keep on doing this, like telling stories, because it's something that I really enjoy doing. And the rest is sort of history.
Yeah, wow. I think the first video, like when I first discovered you, was the Brisbane Winter, whatever it was, 2018.
Yeah.
That was, and I was like, wow, this is really cool. And I was shocked that you hadn't had any other cubing videos. It was all like wedding videos and stuff.
Yeah.
And I was just hoping that you'd make more cubing videos, and then, well, here you are now.
Yeah. And I think that goes to show too that like, when people sort of like are interested in making videos, the experience they've had doing other videos actually really does help. Like, yeah, I really think you can improve your, the people who are listening who have YouTube channels, I think you can really improve your craft and get better at your videos if you're willing to branch out. Just try different things. It doesn't, like, cubing videos aren't the only things that you need to make. Like, just experiment. And yeah, the experience you get in other areas will help you with cubing videos.
Wow, that's amazing.
So with any of those videos that you didn't do cubing, did any of them actually get some sort of traction or view count before the cubing? Because obviously you had the one cube, many cubers, which really blew off your channel. But did any of your like wedding videos or any of your skits, did any of them do well? I know the Just Do It 3-year-old delivers the most intense motivational speech. That took off.
That's right. Yeah, that was super random. That was just like Shia LaBeouf, like, I don't know, what's this, like 6 years ago or something, just like randomly, makes that super weird motivational video. And I think like a few days later, I just asked my friend, hey, do you want to come help me film this thing with my daughter? We're just going to do a, parody of that. And that afternoon, he was like, I think this could blow up. And like, sure enough, like within a few days, like that video just blew up. That was my first sort of experience with like just seeing what a viral video looks like.
Really?
So this is sort of in the earlier days of YouTube as well, where like a video hitting a million views wasn't like there are big channels now where they get 1 million views within a day, like every time they upload something. And so getting that big that quickly was like, what is going on? Like how are there this many people in the world who are actually wanting to watch that? So it was a cool experience for me to sort of see like what it was like riding the wave of having a viral video. And a lot of people wish they had stuff like that happen to their channel. They think, oh, this is going to be, my lucky break. But it didn't necessarily convert into subscribers. It didn't necessarily convert into people actually, coming on board with like what my channel was about. I mean, not that my channel really was about anything specifically at the time. But if people did subscribe, they were just sort of subscribing for like more one-hit wonders like that. And that's one thing that I found. Like, even though there was this one super successful video, it didn't actually mean that like you're gonna get like the support that you actually want, like the community that you actually want. Having viewers who believe in you and like what you do, the message that you're communicating. There's a lot more important than like just this one random shot at fame.
Yeah, and that's what separates cubing from others. Like, obviously, when you made cubing videos, the amount of growth you got was insane, and the amount of engagement of the cubers is as well insane.
Yeah, for sure. Sorry about that. I think I might have knocked my mic over.
Oh, no, it's fine.
So some random sound effects.
So what made you decide to turn your channel just to cubing? Like, well, not just to cubing, but making it officially cubing themed.
Yeah, so I mean, I was a bit resistant to make it just about cubing for a while because I like making videos, and that was like me, and it felt like making it a cubing channel would ignore a lot of the other aspects of my channel that I've really appreciated. Just other aspects of my creativity and love for videos. So I was quite resistant for a while. I was still like putting wedding videos up there, like music, piano related videos and other things like that, just family vlogs and stuff. And then I guess it was just like seeing my channel really grow, seeing what other channels were doing, and then even doing some research and learning myself of like, how the best way to approach a YouTube channels. And one of the like most common things which I read and that people were telling me is that it makes a lot of sense to go niche, to think like who's your audience, why are they here, what type of community are you actually wanting to build. So yeah, with all that, I decided, it actually makes the most sense to focus on cubing, and specifically, as you would have seen, like for me, my brand, I guess to say, is wholesome cubing. Like it's a family. It's like you any video you watch of mine will always be safe for the whole family to watch. Like there'll be nothing in there that is like negative or that's I don't know, swearing or whatever, like it's always going to be really positive. It's going to be just wholesome and make you feel good. So I just decided to take that direction, and I've been really loving it.
Yeah, definitely.
Oh, that's really interesting.
Sticking to a theme really helps your channel like blast off.
Yeah.
Obviously, most of your subscribers now are definitely cubing. And even just what you're saying about your wholesome content, like even though it's like, I would say it's probably the cleanest, like G-rated content you could find for cubing, probably. Even me being 15 years old, I'd still enjoy watching the videos. Like it's still really enjoyable and entertaining, like over some other cubing YouTubers. And that's what you do really well. You're like really good at storytelling. And I think it's just a credit to you.
Yeah, thanks.
For sure.
Yeah, and a big part of that is, me being a dad as well. Like I want to make videos that my daughter can be proud of. She's watching this stuff as well, and so I guess I'm doing it as much for her as I'm doing it for everyone else. Like, just positive stuff, things that just make people feel happy. Yeah.
You have such an impact. Like even at the Adelaide comp, was it this year? Yeah, 2020 summer of Adelaide. That you had like 30,000 subscribers, I think, or 20,000. I'm not sure, but there was this little boy. He was maybe 7 years old, 6 years old, and he was just jumping around in his chair saying, "Tingman, Tingman," like just at a cubing comp. Like,
no way.
And imagine like how much impact you have on these little kids. Like it's ridiculous.
Yeah,
that's crazy. So was it a hard decision to bring Ola into your videos? Was it like you weren't sure how it was going to happen and you weren't sure whether it would be good for her or not at all? Obviously, you'd had videos previously with her in it, but did you have concerns about making her like a full-time sort of member of the channel as she is now?
Yeah, that's a really good question. There's obviously like privacy and, just like, as a parent,
exactly,
about safety for my child, especially as a girl as well. It's just a lot of things that you want to be careful with sort of like putting her on the internet too early. And so, I mean, for starters, I've been quite intentional of like keeping my channel like the Tingman channel. Quite a few people have said, why don't you call it like Tingman and Ola? Which would make sense since she's on quite a few videos. But part of that is with her privacy and just making it I guess not exposing her too much like publicly in terms of videos and stuff. But also, I like to think that in a few years, if she chooses to like step away from this channel because it's like, it's not cool anymore. I don't know, embarrass my dad or whatever. I want her to feel like she can, and it's not like, no, you're my business partner, you have to stay here with me or whatever. Yeah. It's like, no, this is my channel. It's like my creative vision, and I don't want to like force her into it. So like every time we make a video, I always ask, hey, do you want to do this? It's not like we are doing this. It's like, would you like to do this? I try and involve her in the creative like brainstorming of like what the video is going to be as well. Just try and respect her.
That's
even
really
if she's
good.
a kid. But like, kids are people, you got to consult them as well. And see what they think. But yeah, I have been quite careful with sort of maintaining some privacy. So like Ola, for example, isn't actually her name.
Yeah.
A lot of people like think it is. It's just like her nickname that she gave to herself when she was really young. And so, we just use this online, and it probably isn't too hard to find out her real name, but it's just little things like this to sort of just make sure that she stays protected while she's young.
Yeah, it's really important, especially when you have approaching 80,000 people watching your daughter. Like that's really important, and as a father you're doing your best to like protect her. And I think
it could almost be scary, really. You're doing you want to do everything you can to protect her and make sure that she's staying safe and stuff. And you're doing a really good job with that.
Thank you.
Now, so do you think ever if she gets older, if she wants to start YouTube, do you think you'll start a channel with her, or do you think she'll like have her own channel? Or what do you think? Do you think if she...
That's a question. I never really thought about that. I'm not sure if she's said anything about starting her own channel. But I mean, if she wants to, I'd like all power to her. I'd definitely support her in making her own thing.
You'd definitely give her a good head start, hey?
I guess so. I'd give her at least one shout out on my channel.
So let's talk about some beef. What is your side on TNL cubing versus Tingman? Is the beef real? Is it a competition? Explain to me what TNL versus Tingman is like.
What's your side of the story?
It's a bit of both, I think. Like, we're obviously sort of friends. Like he actually came and helped me on my 19 by 19 charity live stream.
Yeah, of course.
But at the same time, the dude gives you $5 so that he can say that TNL cubing is better than Tingman. Like he's actually willing to invest his own cash into paying me out. So I don't know. There has to be something real there. It's a mystery to everyone, and the truth is, it's even a mystery to us. We don't even know why we're enemies, and
I think it's
Just make
really
it up
good,
as you
though.
go along.
I
That's
think
right.
it's good though because it kind of gets the audience excited.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's right. It's sort of just, it's creating teams. It's just like fun competition for no real reason. And it's just, it's just fun.
That's funny.
It's fun until diss tracks come.
That's true. That's true.
All right, Mitch, do you want to go on to the next question?
Yeah. So, what do you enjoy besides cubing? You're obviously a very talented man with a lot of hobbies. So, what do you typically find yourself doing in your spare time?
Yeah. So obviously I try and spend a lot of time just being a dad and hanging out with my kids. I'm a high school teacher as well. So like I do spend a lot of time at work and just like preparing for like teaching. And I teach like the sciences. So I do spend a lot of time like planning science related things, making videos for my lessons as well. Like I make a lot of video lessons, especially this year with like COVID going on. So like with like having to learn from home, I made like more home lessons, like video lessons as well.
Cool.
Yeah, love music. So I play the piano a bit. I like arranging stuff for music. I look after like the music team in my church. So I get a lot more music there as well, like being able to arrange the songs that we sing in church, but also like Christmas coming around soon. I often like we'll do a lot of like music arrangements for Christmas. Pretty involved with like my church community, like just helping out in different areas. That's all the fun things. They're also like the less fun stuff with like, because I'm like, where does my time go? And I'm like, vacuuming the house, like washing the dishes, like that's probably where a lot of my time goes. That's probably not like the fun hobbies you're thinking of.
I was going to say, is that it?
Funny.
But that's pretty much, how do you fit it all?
That's a good question.
Well, even teachers in general.
Yeah, that's true. A lot of people do ask me that. I think maybe it's been easy this year with like COVID because it's like, there's sort of everyone's had a reduced social life this year. So I think that's part of it. I've just been at home more this year. So I've been able to make more videos. But also I just have to be super organized. So the only way recently that I've been able to like keep YouTube going and with all this is like I just plan out all my videos. So I usually at any one point in time have my videos planned for the next like 6 weeks. Like I just know what my videos are going to be, like my next 6 videos in a row, because I average about like one a week. And I usually have at least the next 1 or 2 videos already done, like the edited, they're good to go. And whenever it's school holidays, I'll just like grind and I'll get like tons of videos recorded and then slowly like edit them. So right now I have, I think like 4 or 5 videos that have been filmed but not edited.
Wow.
So yeah,
really
like they're
good.
just in the bank, they're good to go. And that doesn't mean that I can't like sort of interrupt my schedule with stuff. So like, for example, when the Gun 11M Pro came out, like that, I didn't know that I was going to get it so soon, like the early like prototype from Daily Puzzles. So that just meant that I had to do it really quickly that week. It sort of interrupted the schedule, but that's okay. Like there is space for the schedule to be interrupted. And as long as I just had that plan. So that's in terms of YouTube and everything else, like that's how I've managed to survive. I just always have the next few videos done. And I'm just always thinking like a few weeks in advance.
Wow, that's crazy. I wish I'd be able to do that.
Yeah, I know, it's ridiculous. With your schedule, like does anyone that you teach at school, do they actually know your channel? Like, do you keep it secret from students and stuff? Because it could probably cause some problems.
That's a good question. I definitely don't get out of my way to like, I'm not going around school like, hey guys, like and subscribe. You should check out Tingman. He's a good guy. But like there is a cubing club at school. That's probably not probably, definitely because of me. Like I just found, some of the cubers at school. So we definitely like we get together and cube at some lunch times. So they obviously know about my channel and I think it's quite normal. They're really supportive. They're really cool. My school's just like a great community as well. So there's a lot of good relationships between students and teachers. Like everyone's just really supportive of each other. So
that's very rare, to find. Like I would say you're quite lucky. In fact, like there are a lot of schools that would not take that. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I think
that's true.
I think you're in a good spot at the moment with your channel. You've got, obviously you do filmmaking, you do school, and you do YouTube, obviously. So you have 3 different sources of like income, you could say, probably. Would you ever like consider focusing on one of them?
Yeah, people do ask if I would consider going like full-time YouTube, for example, or full-time filmmaking.
Yeah.
And I have considered it from time to time because it's never because of the money. It's always in terms of just like passion and where my interest is. And it's like, there have been times where I felt, yeah, I could actually see myself actually trying full-time, like wedding filmmaking, for example, or going full-time on YouTube, because I actually do feel quite like passionate about it. I haven't got sick of it. But then I guess just realistically, when I think of like the longevity, like how long this will last, teaching makes the most sense. It makes the most sense to stay like a teacher. Like I can see myself being a teacher for the rest of my life. Whereas like I'm pretty sure I'm not going to be a YouTuber for the rest of my life. Like most YouTubers have relatively short like careers. I mean, I know some have been there for a long time, but most YouTubers is like, I don't know, it's this season of your life. Or you might make it big for a little while, and it's like, all right, on to new things. So, yeah, given that, I think I'm just always going to keep filmmaking, and YouTube, I guess, is a side thing, and teaching will be my main career. Like it's the reliable one, it's the, it's
never gonna blow up, or it's never gonna die off. You always have that.
Yeah, it's the stable.
Yeah, definitely. And it's also so meaningful. I mean, that's why I even chose to be a teacher. Like, I really see how I am impacting lives. And when I see like my students go places, like really big places after school, and just knowing that I was a small part of their journey is a huge thing. It's like, it's so special being a teacher.
Wow.
You also do that with
So
YouTube
cool.
as well. Like you do, you probably do realize, but I'm just going to say it out there. You probably don't realize how much of an impact you have on these little kids. Like it's ridiculous. Like the amount of impact you can have on the world, just by like, going a little bit above and beyond like of the standard. You can actually change someone's life, it's ridiculous.
Yeah. Cool. Thank you.
And talking of that, what was it like to have raised that much money for a wonderful cause? What sparked the idea?
Yeah, that was unreal. So this is the 19 by 19 charity live stream that I did.
Yeah.
I'm saying recently, but it also feels like it was a while ago now. So we raised about $8,500. My initial goal was actually $5,000 for Mission Australia, but I just felt like, I probably will be able to hit it. And then if I sort of like aim too low, I probably won't get a lot more than that. And so I decided, let's just go 10, even though I probably won't get 10, because then at least I get more than 5, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
I did. I got 8.5. And even though I didn't hit my goal, it's like secretly, I actually did hit my goal. Like my secret goal was like 5 the whole time.
But if you went for 5, then you would have easily got it. And imagine now you've raised another like $4,000 plus.
Yeah, so cool to be able to do that. So the idea came because like the 19 by 19 came out. I like big cubes, and when Billy when we came to arrangement of like of me getting it wasn't free, I should say, for the record. Like it did actually cost me, because this thing was so expensive. So even though he did subsidize it, like it did actually it wasn't like fully free. I just thought, this is a massive cube, like something has to be done with this cube. And it was like, what's it going to be? Is it going to be like solving it in some crazy place? Is it going to be doing it in a crazy time period? And then I'm not sure how the charity idea came, but I just thought, won't it be great to actually like give something back to the community, or to people who really need it with this? And one thing led to another.
Wow. Such a good idea as well. You should really do one of them like every year, like Mr. Beast, obviously.
Yeah, that's actually a really good idea. I might consider that.
Yeah, that's crazy. So how did you get sponsored by Daily Puzzles? I remember in the beginning, it wasn't always like they sent you a couple of cubes, and then it was a couple of videos later that they actually officially sponsored you. So how did that actually work out? How did you get the cubes in the first place?
Yeah. So just like anyone who gets into cubing, you realize quite quickly that it's a bit of an expensive hobby. Like you're just buying cubes because this is like a new cube every week, and you're like, oh man, I love to have that. And so like, I think I don't know, maybe that's like 6 months in or something, and try not to think too hard about how much money I had already spent on cubes. Like it was pretty shocking. And then I think it was like the Volk 5 and the Gun Mega Minx were coming out, and I was about to buy them. No, I think I actually did already buy them from Daily Puzzles, and then I thought I'm gonna make a video review on each of these. It probably makes sense if like I reached out to Daily Puzzles and said, hey, like this could benefit both of us. So that's how it started. I actually reached out to them, and this was, I think, Billy's sort of earlier days too, where he didn't have very many YouTubers that he sponsored just yet.
He had GD Cuber, Jezza.
Yeah, that's right.
Tino Cubing. I think he had Tino Cubing. Yeah, he did, and LH Cuber.
That's right.
Early
so
days.
yeah, and I think I watched their videos, and I was like, oh yeah, I could probably do something like what they do in terms of giving value to Daily Puzzles. And so yeah, I sent an email, and Billy said, sure, let's do this as a trial period. So he actually refunded the cost of those 2 cubes and said, all right, let's try, you know, you doing a video on each of these, and we'll just see how it goes from here.
Well, that was probably the best financial business decision Billy's ever made.
Probably.
Yeah. I mean, he's been so generous as well. Like, I'm very, very grateful for the support that he's given to my channel. I mean, not just like from a monetary value of sending the cubes, but just like how positive he is with, you know, like celebrating wins with me. He's been a mentor in some ways. And also like, you know, if I just need someone to brainstorm with, if I need someone to chat to, like he's definitely been a friend. And I know quite a few people have described him that way. And, you know, listening to like, you know, big names of big YouTubers and their store sponsors. So, you know, like I've heard interviews with like Phil Yu and some of the guys he sponsors, or Cameron from Speedcube Shop and some of the guys he sponsors. And it actually seems like the best arrangements are the ones where it's not just a business arrangement. Like it's almost like a friendship, you know. There's a mutually like supportive thing going on. And I really think that's what is so good about Billy. Like he really extends that to everyone who he sponsors. He will only sponsor someone he really believes in. And so because of that, you'll receive a lot of support from him.
Yeah, he's such a genuine guy as well. And
he's amazing. Shout out to him.
He's
the man.
Absolutely.
Talking that he's actually sponsoring this episode right now. So thanks, Billy.
Yes. Huge
thank you, Billy.
All right. So just finishing up. So how long have you actually done film and videography for? It's probably been most of your life.
Yeah, at least 20 years.
Oof.
Yeah, but like I've never been to film school or anything. Like I haven't done any courses or anything.
Really?
So it's all just like hobby. It's all me sort of figuring out stuff on my own, and then, you know, looking at stuff online, benefiting from other people's experience. But I've never done any official like video training, I guess, classes. Wow. So yeah, shout out to all the people who figure things out on their own.
Yeah. When did you start filmmaking?
Probably when I was your age.
Wow.
Yeah, like 14, 15 was when I started. I just like grabbed my dad's camera, borrowed it, and just like mucked around with my friends. That was like roughly when like the first Matrix came out as well. And so you can imagine we just tried to recreate like every single scene from the Matrix. Like, because it was just stupid and it was fun.
That's funny. So how do you think last question, how do you think your filmmaking skills have helped you with your videos and where you are today?
Yeah, I think obviously from a technical view, it's helped with me just knowing my equipment. So I know like what angle, what it's the best angle to use, like what, how you would record the audio so it's super clear. If you want to do this sort of video or whatever. From a editing point of view, it's just lots of experience. So I edit videos quite quick. I mean, I still take hours and hours and hours, but it's sort of relatively quick, I suppose, since I've got that experience. But probably most of all, the video experiences means that I have figured out ways of doing storytelling, which I like to think is one of the like things which I bring to cubing. Like I like to think that I bring story, like a bit more of a narrative in my videos. Like there's a story to be told. There are characters involved, and it's not just, you know, about hardware or about an event. There's a story there, and that's something that takes a while, because it means that you need to be good with sort of figuring out the pacing of a video. You know, like anyone can put a video together, but it's like, how long should you linger on the shot? Should you stay on the shot for another second? Should you cut it early and then jump to this? Because, you know, like those are really hard things to teach and hard things to learn, and they only come with experience. And so I guess I just want to say again to the people who are listening, who've got YouTube channels and who, you know, wish they could make videos like whoever, that just keep going. Like you'll maybe make 100 bad videos before you make a good one. Sorry, that's just putting it very black and white. But yeah, I mean, like Mr. Beast, right? Like he's got heaps of videos, like when he was, you know, not really well known, before he made, you know, ones that like really blew up. And so if you see from that point of view, not a single video you make is a waste. Like the videos that some people might be making right now that are only getting like 12 views or something, you might feel like, oh, no one's watching this, I'm not making any difference. But like you are improving. Your skill is improving. And one day, if you pursue this, each little step that you took with every video that you made is going to make you the person who you will be, and the content creator that you will be one day. So it's never wasted. Just keep going. Just make that video. Even if you think it's bad, just make it, and you'll get better every time.
Wow. That's amazing. I think you'd be a big inspiration to many cubers. That's amazing. Thanks so much. That's honestly so nice.
Yeah, we
pleasure.
really appreciate this interview. It's been so much fun.
Thank you for having me on. It's been a secret wish to be a guest one day.
Well, it's been a secret wish for us for you to be a guest one day as well. So it's a win-win.
Nice. All three wishes, Scott. all at once, yeah.
The perfect resolution.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much. We really appreciate that. And we wish you the best of luck in your cubing journey.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thanks so much, Tingman. So, guys, if you want to follow Tingman, you can follow him at Tingman Official on Instagram, and on YouTube, just Tingman.
Thank you so much, Tingman, for coming on. We really, really enjoyed that. You're such a nice bloke, and that was such a fun interview to record. If you guys haven't checked out his channel yet, which I'm not sure how you haven't, but his link will be in the show notes. Of course, it's just Tingman. We're going to wrap it up there, guys. We don't have anything to do because we finished true or false last time. So if you have any suggestions for what we could do instead of true or false, obviously DM us on Instagram and let us know what you think. We'd love to hear all your suggestions. But yeah, we're going to wrap it up there. Thank you so much for listening. We really hope you enjoyed. Bye from Daily Puzzles. Use code Parity. Follow us on Instagram and Twitter. I think. Do we have Twitter?
Yeah, we have Twitter. It's at Parity Podcast. No, it's not. Just search Parity Podcast on Twitter and you'll find us there.
Yes. We got Twitter. Buy Patreon to advertise your cubing stuff. Find a cubing friend, and happy cubing.
Well, that was awkward. See you guys.